Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. Basically, like for labels, say your recording fund was $1 million. He said whatever the recording fund is, 10% goes to the union. So instead of $1 million, you'd have $1.1 million with $100,000 going to the union.
They go up to the feds with all this paperwork, you understand? And I mentioned this before, you understand? They not only talking about the extortion stuff, they talking about how they trying to be made to have this what you call this promotion, this distribution thing. Putting Jay-Z was a part of it. They telling their story, and it all is coincide what we said years ago.
Sean Combs and Sean Carter have been working together for the better part of 25 years to find a way to take over full control of the entertainment industry. They have been slumping and sidelining relevant hip-hop communities for decades.
And what it does is it starts deteriorating your body.
All right.
So.
And you good? Like, you got it under control?
No.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I won't take up any more time, but I just want to say, Irv, I love you. Everyone in this room loves you. You touched everybody in your own way.
Irv Gotti's final warning about Diddy and his former friend Jay-Z is making waves on the internet again, especially after Irv Gotti's recent passing. And this isn't just about a rap beef or industry competition, it's about the deep, dark secrets Irv hinted at in past interviews. Irv claimed there were some very shady moves being made behind the scenes to sabotage what would have been an all-black-owned music distribution company. Suge Knight and Irv had it all figured out, and pretty much all other black moguls and CEOs were on board, except two. Of course, I'm talking about Diddy and Jay-Z, who allegedly worked with the feds to stop Suge's vision from ever seeing the light of day. This even led to the feds raiding Murder Inc., and Irv almost ended up in prison over false allegations that someone made about him. And now with all the rumors flying around about Diddy and Jay's alleged ties to the feds, fans are wondering if all these bizarre deaths in the industry are just a coincidence. So buckle up, because we are going deep into Irv's final warning. What was he really trying to expose, and why his death now has everyone rethinking Jay-Z and Diddy's rise in the industry?
Now that said, artists would get medical, pension, all of the stuff that unions, the benefits that unions do. You could go get your teeth fixed now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that. And each time you do a new album, 10%. And it was easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million. Right? Shortly after that, the feds raided me or whatever.
So it feels like every other day, new dirt comes to light about Diddy and Jay-Z's allegedly shady moves behind the scenes. And now Irv Gotti's old claims are making waves again, this time accusing both moguls of snitching on their fellow black record label owners and sabotaging a major power move that could have changed the game forever: the creation of the first black-owned music distribution company. According to Irv, Suge Knight was the mastermind behind a plan to unionize black music artists across all genres. So this wasn't just about hip-hop. It was a move that could have united artists from every corner of the industry to finally get what they deserve. Irv broke it down in an interview with MTV, saying, "In the music business, the artists, we have no union. There's no healthcare. It's nothing like that. It should be done." It was all his plan, and it was a hell of a plan. Suge's vision was for the record labels to cover union dues up front by adding the extra cost to artists' recording budgets. Once the album started selling, artists would pay back the labels just like how they already handle advances. But this would have given artists real security with access to healthcare, retirement plans, and benefits the industry has always denied them. So back in 2022, Suge delivered a powerful speech at the West Coast Hip Hop Summit that hit on some real truths. He broke down how major record labels keep artists on a tight leash by holding on to the real bag, their masters. See, owning your masters means owning your music, period. But Suge pointed out that most artists never really get that level of control because the labels keep a stranglehold on those rights. And the way the system is set up means that most artists don't have the leverage or the money to buy their masters back, even after they've made the label millions. And without owning their masters, artists stay locked in a system where the labels keep making money off their work for decades, while the artists themselves often don't see a fraction of what they're really owed. And now looking back, a lot of what Suge was saying feels more relevant now than ever, especially with all the talk about artists fighting for ownership in today's industry.
It's how many people want to have a union? How many people want to get together and say, okay, we're going to network. You got a deal at Universal and your points is too low. You got a deal at Universal and they got 100% of your publishing. You got a deal at Sony and you don't own your masters, but it's your artist. And I'm gonna tell you one other thing before you guys go. If you really want to know what's going on, it's real plain and simple. A lot of record companies tell you that at the end of the day, you have the right to buy your masters back.
Suge also called out major players in the game, including Diddy, and questioned why big-name artists and black label owners who had the power to really make a difference weren't backing a plan that was designed to uplift everybody.
Where's Ja Rule? Where's Redman? Where's Irv Gotti? Where's P. Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him? Where's, I can go on and on. Where's Pete? Where's Outkast? Where's Jermaine Dupri? Where's it?
This is a West Coast beat.
But at the same time, they want to come out here and West Coast love. At the same time, when it's an East Coast summit,
We out there.
these old Hollywood wanna be fake out there. So why they can't show the same support, rather? Not an idiot, don't get me wrong, it's cool.
Now keep in mind that when Suge gave the speech, Irv Gotti still hadn't officially signed on to back Suge's plan. But eventually, Irv realized it was a brilliant idea, and Suge managed to rally almost every black record label executive behind him, except for two, Jay-Z and Diddy. And this is where it gets messy. So you've probably heard the rumors by now that both Jay and Diddy allegedly have some deep behind-the-scenes connections with the feds and certain shadowy figures in the industry's upper ranks. Now when it comes to Diddy, the story allegedly traces all the way back to his father, Melvin Combs. Melvin was tied to Harlem kingpin Frank Lucas, one of the biggest names in the game back then. Melvin was shot in 1972, and while the case was never officially solved, Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal claimed Melvin was taken out by his own people for allegedly being a snitch. And it doesn't stop there. According to Gene, Diddy himself nearly faced the same fate, and Gene claimed that the bullets that Biggie Smalls in 1997 were meant for Diddy.
Reminisce that night we was at Andre Harrell's house, and I told you that this cat was coming to kill us or try to get at us that night. I told you I had intel, but you didn't want to hear it. Let's reminisce the fact I told our driver, Kenny, run this next 3 lights. Run the light, Kenny. Kenny ran the light, Big stopped at the light. Big wasn't meant for him, bruh. Let's reminisce. Let's reminisce when you told Wolf's mother right after he died that you didn't owe him no $300,000 and he had delusions of grandeur and all he wanted to do was smoke weed. Let's even go deeper than that, bruh. Let's reminisce how you had people on the security team
and wreck
find
TV.
people to testify against Sean. You a rat. I ain't gonna even put you in the category as a rat, dog. You worse than what your father was. Let me give you a little intel on him. You understand? That meeting that New York Freddie want to have you with you, Freddie Myers, and tell you the real deal on your father? Let me give you something, dawg. You would have died just like your father did that night if I wasn't in the car with you. You understand? Your father died because he was going to snitch and rat out his crew.
Now, when it comes to Jay-Z's alleged ties to the feds, the streets have been buzzing for a minute that his main link is Desiree Perez, a former federal informant and the CEO of Roc Nation.
All right. Remember when Jay-Z said this?
I think we passed kneeling.
Let me play it again. This time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him. The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Roc Nation. but in her former life, she was a federal informant. In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for bringing in 35 keys of Griselda Blanco into Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to wear a wire for the DEA. Quick side note, Desiree Perez is a name Dame Dash refused to say in this Breakfast Club interview.
Once a has certain friends, we don't even talk about them no more where I'm from.
Now, around that same time, Jay-Z and Perez spearheaded Roc Nation's prison reform initiative with Meek Mill. I guess their hard work paid off, because on the 19th of January 2021, this list was released. Desiree Perez's criminal past had just been wiped clean by the outgoing president, Donald Trump.
So back in 2015, right after the New York Daily News exposed Desiree's past, Dame Dash appeared on Sway in the Morning and said the whole situation had him shook, because if Jay was willing to make a power move like that, hiring a known informant to run his company, it made Dame question just how far Jay might be willing to go. Dame also pointed out that a lot of his close friends and business partners, like Rockefeller co-founder Kareem Biggs Burke, had already been through hell dealing with the feds. So for him, seeing Jay bring someone like Desiree to a top position wasn't just a business decision. It felt like a betrayal and a real threat.
This is the one time that the paper did scare me, and I was like, there has to be some truth to it, is when I read about his affiliation with, informant. That part of it scares me, because I know Biggs is in jail. I know Irv Gotti's been for years over he didn't do. I know they've been with me for years. So it just means I need to stay over here. Your friend, my man's in jail for 3 years over weed. The feds is really on me. It's not like they not. And where I'm from, that is not tolerated at all.
Now, circling back to Suge Knight's vision of creating a fully black-owned music distribution company, both Irv Gotti and Jay Prince confirmed that the feds played a major role in shutting that down. In January 2003, the heat really turned up when federal investigators raided the Murder Inc. offices in New York. On top of that, Irv and his brother Chris Gotti were hit with serious money laundering charges that could have landed them 20 years behind bars. But in 2005, the Gotti brothers beat the case. Still, Irv has always claimed that the whole thing was a setup, an intentional move by the powers that be to stop their plans to unionize artists and take control of the music industry's wealth and power. Now, when it comes to Jay Prince, his battle with the feds runs deep too. He's been vocal about how the DEA allegedly assigned a corrupt agent to take down Rap-A-Lot Records back in the 90s. Prince said, "They assigned a guy by the name of Jack Schumacher on me to arrest me or whatever he was supposed to do. But he sent death threats at me. Here's a man that killed 8 people since they were investigating me. I decided to hire an investigator to investigate them. And that's when I found out this guy killed all those people." By the way, according to Hot New Hip Hop, Jay Prince's claims about this agent were later confirmed following various internal DEA investigations and court hearings. But is there any real proof that Jay-Z and Diddy snitched to the feds to sabotage Suge's plan? Well, according to Gene Deal, there just might be. Gene claims that there's a whole stack of paperwork sitting at Bad Boy Records that allegedly proves Diddy played a major role in working with the feds behind the scenes. And when it comes to Jay-Z, Gene says he's heard from multiple reliable sources that Jay-Z also lent a helping hand to the feds in some capacity.
When Puff, Kirk Burrows, that's the other person that was with them, they go up to the feds with all this paperwork, you understand? And I mentioned this before, you understand? They not only talking about the extortion stuff, they talking about how they trying to be made to have this what you call this promotion, this distribution thing. Now other people coming out talking about it. They putting Jay-Z was a part of it. They telling their story, and it all is coincide what we said years ago.
Jay-Z, he told too?
Said that years ago, man. Said that years ago. What are you gonna do? They're gonna do whatever. Yo, listen to me. They're the reason why rap in New York went down the drain. They made sure that these young cats didn't come up with platforms and didn't come up with situations.
But this isn't the only time Irv Gotti has side-eyed Jay-Z. He's also dropped some tea about how Jay allegedly hated on the late DMX, who was also very outspoken about the way the hip-hop industry is controlled by outsiders. And here's where the rumors get even darker. Word on the street is that Jay might have teamed up with his mentor, controversial music executive Lear Cohen, to eliminate X from the spotlight altogether. See, DMX wasn't the type to stay quiet about the shady business moves happening behind closed doors. He had no problem calling out the top dogs in the industry and accusing fellow rappers of bowing down to their label bosses. Now fast forward to 2004, and Jay-Z took over as president of Def Jam Recordings, stepping into the role after Lear Cohen left. And according to X, that's when things started going left for him. Keep in mind that DMX had been holding Def Jam down with 5 back-to-back #1 albums from 1998 to 2003. He was a certified hit machine. But once Jay took the reins, X claimed things got messy, specifically with the release of his 6th album, Year of the Dog. Again, Jay allegedly started playing games behind the scenes, delaying the project and throwing roadblocks in X's way.
What happened was, like I said, I had the crazy track record of Def Jam, everything was good. I go to do the 6th album, and
Jay-Z became president.
Yeah. When he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates is running the building like, yo, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Go on vacation and, we don't know. What you mean you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know?
And according to DMX, Jay-Z wasn't just about the music. He was eyeing a major comeback and wasn't about to let any rivals get in his way.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. Because at first you retire, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay. It's all good.
For X, this was the aha moment, and he realized that Jay-Z was ready to throw anyone under the bus if it meant getting ahead. It hit him hard, so he made the decision to bounce from Def Jam and cut ties. But here's where it gets even deeper. DMX's issues with Jay went beyond just business. It all tied back to Jay's connections with some of the industry's shady higher-ups. You see, Jay-Z and DMX had 2 totally different approaches when it came to the game. While Jay was all about playing the corporate chessboard, X stayed raw and real, always speaking his mind about how label owners had artists on lock. DMX refused to bend or compromise his integrity for anyone, especially not for some boardroom politics. Jay might have been willing to play the game, but X wasn't about to sell out.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their
right.
And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executives. It's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money.
And now on top of all this, there's a clip from an interview with Irv Gotti making the rounds again, where he claims that Jay-Z was insanely jealous of DMX. And according to Irv, Jay and Lear Cohen used to laugh at X together, writing him off and claiming he'd never actually blow up the way he did.
First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your ass is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more of like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats, doom doom, DMX, doom doom, live at the tunnel. Y'all don't even remember the tunnel. Funk Master Voice, doom doom, and then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. Doom doom. The video's flashing, f***ing up your eyes. It caused change, and now there was no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on the wall a triangle with 5. And they was like, they used to clown me. And they used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. Sold 5. It was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all can get behind me. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the f up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
But now it's your turn to weigh in. What's your take on these allegations that Diddy and Jay-Z sabotaged Suge Knight's plan for an all-black-owned music distribution company? And what about those rumored ties to the feds? Do you think there's a deeper connection there? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't miss out on this next video.